Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to an episode of Cooking with the Frisbees. But again, this is the second portion of Cooking with the Frisbees, which has to do with Little Acorn Farm. Today is November 9th. It's around 12:30 in the afternoon. It's around lunchtime. Thought I'd come out and do a garden tour. The last one that we posted was September 11th and 12th, which was a 2-day process, which is kind of showing the end of the season for our spring summer crops, and then for our first time ever doing a fall planting. So you saw all that went down. Now, it's been a couple of months. My apologies. Beth and I have been extremely busy doing some other things, but I wanted to take the opportunity to go down here and show you just what has happened down here with our winter crops. If you remember, we had planted spinach, carrots, radishes, kale. I know I'm missing things, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. We planted a whole bunch of things. So now I'm going to take the opportunity today, Beth and I, to go down there and show you exactly what's been happening. You can see behind us, as I said, we're coming to the end of our spring summer crop. And yeah, there's the potted plants up here. We've had some cold weather, and normally I'd be transitioning over into my fall winter hats and gear. But today happens to be one of those above average days where it's going to be 75 degrees on November 9th. Who knows? Let's hope we have a great Thanksgiving weather like that. But you can see behind us, these things have just started to go. I mean, there's still some tomatoes that are here, but we're just letting them stay on the vine, and then we pull them off and we let them ripen inside. But these big boys, as you can see, are not big, and everything's starting to go. So I'm going to take you on down to Little Acorn Farm, the lower portion of it. Let's go see what's happening. Come on. Okay, so let's take a walk down to the back pasture of Little Acorn Farm. Not really a pasture. We don't have that much land. But we always start up here. We'll take a look at our herb garden, which continues to do well. The rosemary needs to be cut back. We've actually used some of it to kind of freshen up our garbage cans during the summer. It seems to work pretty well. Sage is still going well. I think we're coming to the end over here on the basil. The cold weather, it really doesn't like it, and we've had some cold snaps. But what Beth has done really, and we're going to do an episode of this on Cooking with the Frisbees. She's harvesting a lot of this basil that we have, because we've had what you would call a bumper crop, and she has made pesto out of it. So that is absolutely delicious, and we've got a lot of it. So let's start a little bit of a walk down here. And as you can see, as I pan over here, my goodness. So this is our broccoli. And look at this. Here, I want to stop over here and look so you can see. Look at all the pollinators that are still going on down here. We've got lots of butterflies that are still flying around down here. The wasps are out. I'm not really too happy about that, as long as they stay away from me. Let's see if I can zoom in on one of these. Oh, there they go. They don't like being filmed. But at any rate, let's take a look. So look at the broccoli. Wow, that is just massive from where we have been. Well, let's go down here and look inside here. And look in there. Can you see that? There's actually a head of broccoli. So what you get out of these, we found you get a head of broccoli for each plant. You cut it out, and then it starts and it grows another head. We planted some spinach down here as well, but a lot of it didn't come in, so we actually had to replant it. You can see, look at the spinach. It's coming up. We've got some other spinach plants that are coming up. They really like the cold weather, so I don't think they're really liking this warm blast that we've just experienced over the past couple of days, but this weekend is supposed to start to cool down again. Let's see if I can get on one of these little butterflies. They don't really let me get that close. Look how pretty that is. Sorry, you got my shadow in here as well. So I'm going to come around, let you see some of the other stuff that we have going on down here. I'm going to come over here and film this from the other side so my shadow's not in the way. But this is our kale. And we have actually harvested some of this kale already and used it in salads. And it really likes this cold weather. And we were really so excited about this, because who knew that we weren't finished once the fall weather started. So as we come over to bed number 2, look at this. Now these are our Brussels sprouts. And these little Brussels sprouts I just absolutely love because, again, we do a lot of research and all the stuff that we do. And let me see if I can zoom in here. These little nodules that you see those little nodules in there? Those are Brussels sprouts. And they grow all the way up and down this stem. And what happens is as they start to grow, you pull these leaves off and you begin to harvest them. So these have only been in for, I guess, about 6 weeks. And look at the size of these things. If you have reviewed our planting that we did in September, my goodness. Look at this. This warm weather has just really attracted so many pollinators. The bumblebees are back out again. Don't touch that, Bentley. You're not going to like that. Bentley's trying to get in on the bumblebees. But these marigolds have just flourished as well. And we even replanted some of the sweet peas. And you can see these vines are starting to grow. They're resistant to the cold weather, so we're able to get away with that. And I'm going to come around here. Well, you can see our cherry tomatoes. That time is past, but I just can't even be upset about the level of cherry tomatoes that we got this year. It was absolutely phenomenal. And then you can see here, these are our basil plants. Let me come around here so you can see without the sun. The sun is so low in the sky, it really affects filming. Look at the basil plants. And we've harvested so much of this that Beth has made so many containers of pesto, but we've got more to do. We'll show you how we'll do that. We planted some romaine lettuce over here. We're not quite sure what this one is doing. We had a bunny rabbit that comes and visits us that kind of chewed up a lot of our romaine lettuce. This plant was left. We had harvested some leaves off the bottom. We're not quite sure what this is doing at the top right now with all these flowers, but we're just going to go ahead and let it go and then move on. And it'll be an experiment for us. We planted a row of carrots back here, and they never came up. And what we've kind of surmised is maybe we got a bad packet, and we didn't go ahead and replant them. So no carrots for us for this fall. Now radishes that we found are fall plants as well. We planted some radishes, and look at these radishes flourishing. Now, I'm kind of sad right there. You see that cherry tomato right there? I was so used to coming and picking cherry tomatoes. I didn't get that one. It just fell off the vine, but those were like grapes for us to come back here. So radishes are doing well. You can see the spring, summer cherry tomatoes that we planted. That one's just coming to an end. We're kind of just letting it hang there. And one of the things that we've learned and we're taught is just to cut them off at the bottom stem down there and just leave the roots of the plants in there for organic material. It's not supposed to come back. So we'll see. We'll see. It's all experiment. Now let's pan on over and take a look at what's going on back here with our peppers. Again, we're supposed to get another round of strawberries, and we just didn't. The plants are flourishing, but we're not getting any fruit off of it. Maybe it's a next year thing, and we'll do some research on that. This is where the eggplant was. We have pulled all that out. We got all the eggplant that we could get out of there, so it's gone. The peppers are still going. Now, they're starting to shrivel up a little bit, and I think it's because of the cold nights. A couple of nights we've gotten down to like 38 degrees, but you can see we've still got nice peppers in there. We've got peppers over here. Look at those. Really nice. Really nice. But you can see the shrivel factor. They're starting to shrivel up. There's another pepper back there. So we're going to harvest these, but we're just kind of letting them hang out. And then we talk about bumper crops again this year. Gosh, our peppers, our jalapenos, our poblanos, they just did well, continue to do well. The issue that's happening is we're not getting a lot of sun back here now. So they're really starting to kind of back down a little bit, but we'll take what we can get, right? Like, let's come over here and take a look. Wow, look at that. That's just, they're beautiful. And they're still there, and they're still hanging on. So we will continue to harvest. And then we'll swing back up here, turning over a lot of our compost now. Ed has really started breaking down quite a bit. So I try to remember, it's not my favorite chore to do in the backyard, but I try to remember to come over and turn this stuff over. And then we're taking a look at, I guess this would be bed number 5, 6, 7, I'm not sure. But look at this. Peppers are still going in that box. The rose bush continues to flourish. This warm, sunny weather sure isn't hurting it all. So it's doing well. We'll come down here to our pepper plant that we had just, again, if you remember, this is just an extra pepper plant that we had put in this bed. And we still got peppers. I mean, we've got lots of peppers upstairs that are sitting there, and we did some research. Like, we were giving them away, but it gets to the point that you don't want to give a ton of it away. So we're going to start drying some of these out. What I think has really been interesting too is I learned on the rose plants that these are actually called, what did they say? They're hips, I think is what they call them, rose hips. And you can actually, after the first frost, you can harvest these, split them open, and pull the seeds out. And I'm going to give that a try for sure, because why go buy another rose bush? Because I've told you I want to plant one on the other side over here. Why buy another one if I can grow my own little seedlings, right? So things look good down here. They still look good. The winter garden, fall winter garden seems to be doing well. We've harvested kale. We haven't harvested much else from there, but it's all looking very healthy, and we'll see what happens. So hey, now you've seen kind of our fall tour. I'd say this is the first official tour after the planting that we've done. It's a very beautiful day down here. I love fall down here in the Acorn farm. I can spin around here without making any of you guys sick. I love all the trees. I love all the colors. I love what it does down here in the fall. We've got some really beautiful colors down here. So let's take a little walk up here, and we're just going to finish up top. Come on. So here they are. Look at our tomato plants. This was the tomato plant. It was 10 feet tall, but it's just reaching the end of its cycle. Yeah, you can see there's a sure sign of fall winter. We got a half a quart of wood delivered the other day. Beth and I had the pleasure of using that for our exercise. This tomato plant, you see there's tomatoes still on them, but the fruit's not going to get any bigger. We're satisfied with what we got. I really can't complain about what happened out here. We'll pull those off, and we'll still get some tomatoes out of them. We'll still be able to eat them. They just won't be as big. They won't be as sweet. They won't be as robust. Flowers are still doing well. These are the zinnias. They continue to do well. They get a lot of sun here in the afternoon, but I'll swing around here. I'll let you see when we're done over here. This is the rose bush that we have in one of the pots. It continues to do nicely. And then we move the blackberry plants over here. And like I said, we didn't get a lot out of them. This is one of those things we're just going to kind of let go. And I don't mean let go and let them die, but I'm not going to prune them back. You're not supposed to. New shoots may come up in the springtime. We're just going to see what happens. So as I just do a quick little pan around, you can see the angle of the sun. You can see the shadows. Angle of the sun coming around the house for Little Acorn Farm is a lot different. But it's still feeding plenty of sunlight to those beds back there. It's not getting all the way to the back beds, but it's feeding those well. This is our first time doing it. Things still look good. Look at that the beautiful color that starts to come back here in the fall. I just absolutely love that with the pretty blue sky. We've got so many trees that we let grow up back here that it's just beautiful. I love being back here in the fall, especially on warm days like this. So everybody, that's the garden tour for our little Acorn farm on November 9th, 2021. We'll continue to come back, give you some updates on what's going on with the garden. That sun is really bright off the back deck. So, if you got questions, please let us know. There'll be another episode of Cooking with the Frisbees in the Kitchen. That'll be coming up soon this week as well. We're back on track. I got the right equipment now to go ahead and start filming and producing some things. I know some of you guys have said, where have you been over the last month and a half? I'm playing catch up, and we will get there, I promise you. So, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.